Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Advanced Micro Devices, ticker symbol AMD. And so here we are looking at the chart on Sunday, December 15th, after AMD closed on Friday the 13th at a price of $126.91, being down almost 3% on the day. And so, yeah, I wanted to go over the chart as well as some unusual whales options data because it was requested. And, I haven't really looked at the chart. And so, I thought it would be fun for you guys to see me do that. So I will come back to the chart here in a minute, but I did want to flip over to a couple other things first. And so here we have this retweet that I've posted from TrendSpider going over the AMD daily chart. And so they wrote, will the average buyer from the 2022 bear market lows hold the line for AMD? We're about to find out. And so it looks like on their chart, I'm not exactly sure what moving average this is, or if that is just the, it looks like it's the 2022 anchored over here, VWAP. And so it does look like we have bounced from that level multiple times. The big question is, will we be bouncing again? And so I just posted about that, I don't know, kind of looks like a massive head and shoulders where you'd have the left shoulder here, the head here, and then the right shoulder over here. And so that would suggest a measured move effectively from the top here down to the neckline and then moving down further. And so I'll go over that in the chart. But before I get into that analysis, I thought it would be nice to look over at Unusual Whales to look up some AMD options data to see if it looks, bullish or bearish. And so here, these are filtered by the highest volume. I'm actually just going to come over here to filter by the highest amount of premium that was traded on Friday. And so we have, tens of millions of dollars, nearly $100 million here, about 30 million shy, so it's still a lot lower than 100 million. But, we've got these contracts here, so I'm just going to add these to the list over here. And, let's see, I'll just do the top 5. And so we can kind of look at the, maybe actually I'll go, let's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's just look at those and kind of evaluate, does the sentiment look more bearish with lots of money behind it or more bullish with lots of money behind it? So if we look at the first one that was up there, or at least the one that expires soonest, maybe I should have organized these by highest amount of premium traded on Friday, but they are just organized over here. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to organize them by the soonest expiration, followed by the latest expiration. So this is December 2025 over here. And so looking at the first one, we have, 1 day's worth of data. I kind of like to look at these looking back on the past 30 days. So we do see a pretty big increase in volume traded on this contract. And with that, we also see the premium, the average fill of those contracts going down. And then over here, this is just the 1 day. So I'm going to switch that over to the 30-day as well. We can see that, while the stock price in yellow has been coming down, we see spikes in net call premium in green over here. But we also see this big drop in net call premium, and that is negative, suggesting that these calls that were bought here potentially were being sold over here, bought back over here. But it does seem like calls and puts that's in red more or less are, pretty close to that midpoint there, right around, 0. So, nothing really stands out too much to me with that. And so I think what we're going to be wanting to look at is the total premium over here. So I'm just going to scroll up so we can see that a little bit better. And so here, this is the total premium traded on Friday, just shy of $7 million. It does look like that was net selling though. So selling these calls, that is bearish. Or actually that was, net selling from the 3 million that were traded on Friday. The difference between the open interest from Thursday to Friday is, around 19,000 contracts going down. So these calls that were bought here, 1,900 of them were sold. If I said 19,000, I meant 1,900. But yeah, so that has gone down. And so this, over here makes me think it's kind of bullish. This right here on Friday, between Thursday and Friday, makes me think it's kind of bearish. But, the volume, let's see, it's been going up and down a lot, but we did see this big boost from volume. We want to look at open interest. So, yeah, I mean, it's like 13,000, 11,000 here. I don't know. Let's look at the other contracts to see. This one, for almost 5 million. These are, being bought, so that is bullish. Puts over here, this is 4 million, 15, almost 16 million traded on Thursday, and that was a net decrease in those puts. So this is bullish that these puts are being sold. At 16 million was traded on this day, and it was a net decrease. So that's excuse me, that's a little bit more bullish. This one calls again in the millions of dollars total premium. These have been increasing. The puts here, this is a $125 strike expiring in January. And puts, these have been going up, so this would suggest bearish. And then here, $110 put for February. These are being bought up nearly 15 million in total premium on Friday. And so, I think it'll be pretty important to check this one on Monday before the market opens to see if the open interest went up from, around 11,000 contracts for this $110 put that expires February 21st of 2025. If that has gone up substantially, because there's this volume of 44,000, that suggests to me that this is bearish. And with that being the largest amount, let's see, almost 15 million. These other ones, these were, not even up to 10 million on Friday. Still lots of money on them. But yeah, I mean, this one does suggest, it's pretty bearish. And I'm assuming that because it was being bought up, in the days leading up to that, I would imagine that I would imagine that would suggest or we will see tomorrow that the open interest has gone up. If we look at the $100 call that expires February 21st, these have been getting bought up. Although, contrary to what I was just saying, this is almost $19 million traded on Friday. We've got a volume of 6,000 contracts. So I think that this one is going to be very important to check before market open as well. $100 call expiring February 21st. That's around, 11.6 thousand open interest versus the $110 put is, around 10.9 thousand. So both of them around 11,000. We want to see which one's going up, which one's going down. We got this other call here. This is the $110 call. This is actually 70 million. I wasn't paying attention to myself when I first went over the highest volume ones, but yes, 70 million. This is 33,000 contracts. If this goes up tomorrow, $110 call, February 21st. So this seems like it's a pretty important date for these contracts. Tens of millions of dollars betting on this either going up or down. And then here, looking at the $130 put, for that expires in June. That's an expiration date I like personally. I just like a little bit more time between now and the expiration. That's again 6 million. And so here the last one is $150 put, and that expires basically a year from now. And that's 7 million. So, what I am going to do, I'm going to delete all of the ones from this oops, no, I wanted the one I just deleted. wait, no, no. I think these are the ones that yeah, those should be, this is not, yeah, this is, yep, I got that right. And sorry, I'm probably not going to edit this just because, I thought I'd do this research, but, I'm kind of a little not too organized with this, but I just wanted to, go over the data. I think data is, really good to be using for trading, not just lines on the chart, but also looking into this stuff. So yeah, all of these over $10 million. And so these contracts, again, I'm just going to scroll up here, actually, with this at the bottom here so you can see it. So the $110 call that expires February 21st, there was a total premium traded on that day of $70 million. And so the current open interest is around 4.4 thousand versus the volume traded on Friday was 33,500. And so if this is bullish, we want to see that open interest go up by about 30,000 or, at least go up. And so we want to see this difference here be positive prior to open tomorrow. And so I'll try to actually post about this before market opens, but I have to be at work early. So we'll see about that. And this again, $100 call also expiring February 21st. This one, massive whopping $18.8 million traded on that total premium. Open interest is 11.6 thousand with a volume of about 6,000 traded. So we want to see that go up to around 17,000 if this is to be, majority bullish. But really, we just want to be seeing that number increasing. And then the put, this is almost 15 million traded. This is again, the $110 put that expires in February. So it's about $15 million. Open interest just shy of 11,000. And the volume was about 44.5 thousand contracts. We want to see that number going up before market open. So again, I will do a little post on this before market opens as long as I remember, but it's quite possible I'll forget. But these are the contracts. You should be able to check these in the data table to see how that open interest has changed. And so now let's get back to the chart so I can, draw some lines on this. And so let's see, if this is to be a head and shoulders pattern, so that's like the low from May. Let's just see if that, May of 2023, let's see if that matches with over here. So that looks like it was like November of 2023. Yeah, May of 2023 was, so that's that left shoulder that I was kind of talking about, coming back to over here. So let's just draw a trend line that, would suggest whether or not we have broken below that. And what I might do is, let's see, this is kind of, because I want it to be just barely touching, the armpits. Actually, I need to raise that up a little bit over there. Maybe what I want to do here, I am going to do this. It should magnetize to the, it should stick to the bottoms there. And then I'm just going to drag this line over, keeping that anchor point on that right armpit. And so, this seems like it's kind of ugly, but this seems like, head and shoulders pattern. And yeah, and I have to say, I used to have a short position on semiconductors, but I don't anymore. The reason for that is just because, it does, like, I'd rather not be betting against something long term. I'd rather be finding things I can swing on the short term. And so that just wasn't, it didn't suit the way that I'm trying to learn how to trade and get better and stuff. And so, what we can do for this, there are a couple different ways we can do this. We can do a measurement straight down to the neckline and then do a break from that. We could also do a Fibonacci extension going from the top here to the armpit here and then up to the shoulder to get an idea of, where that might be going. And so I'll just do that first, and then I'll do the kind of more standard measurement. And so, just doing that. These are probably approximate points, so forgive me if the numbers are a little bit off. coming down to, it says 68.13, but I'm just going to have fun with it and say $69. That is a reduction in price, from current price of about 45%. So pretty big move down there. And so that, we can look at that and just take a measurement from the top here to the bottom here and just drag that over that 100% move. That is exactly what that Fibonacci extension does. So that is how you would get that if you're curious. But to get a measurement from this head and shoulders pattern, we just take a straight line going down to, the neckline there, and then pull this over, and I'm just going to get the midpoint of that line to be at, right over here, intersecting with that neckline. And so this is the top half, and we can see where that bottom half is, and that is what would suggest, the price target, and that's going to be around, believe it or not, I'm going to have to take this with a grain of salt. That is saying it's going to a negative number, and I don't think that's a reasonable approximation. So I don't think that this kind of measurement there is valid given where the stock price is currently at. But I do think that this 100% retracement to $69, that is something to consider, especially because, take it with a grain of salt. We have, effectively broken below this trend line. So that doesn't look so great. I'm not sure if they have earnings coming up or anything. It does look like they recently had it at the end of October, so I can't imagine they have another one coming up. But yeah, I mean, this looks like it's tested this level and it's broken through it. And also, I've seen a lot of posts about NVIDIA forming a head and shoulders pattern as well that kind of fits with this as well. So maybe semis have found their tops, but I think that there are a lot of good reasons to think that, we might be getting faked out. Markets tend to do that with us. They play with our emotions and all that. But yeah, maybe there's something we could look at longer term that might suggest, no, actually, because I'm just looking at this on the log scale, thinking, maybe these pivot points could connect over to here. But yeah, I don't know. That probably doesn't really seem too useful, But yeah, this is the lows from like 2018. And so maybe connecting a line from this pivot point to this pivot point, maybe that would suggest where we might be going. And so I'm actually going to adjust this back to linear, see if, well, there you go. We got to look at that on the log scale in order for this line potentially to make sense. So let's draw that. This is again on the weekly time scale. I'm drawing this from the week that ended on April 6th of 2018 and then connecting, to right over here. And, this might give me a little bit more confidence about this. I'm just going to make sure that's 904 over there is the pivot point. And the pivot point over here, I'm just going to adjust that, is looks like 54.57, 54.57, 904. So that looks good. Going to lock that into place on the log scale. So, pivot point here, and bounce. And, we effectively closed, we actually factually closed below that trend line on Friday the 13th, also being Friday the 13th. We do see for this week, we came down, we as in retail. I am not in AMD, but over the course of the past week, AMD came down almost 8.5%. Pretty big red candle there, and volume was behind it, an increase in volume following here what looks like it was a bear flag. So, I would say that a very important level to reclaim is going to be like right around $130. We want to see next week closing above that because this could be a fake out break. See it all the time where you get a candle below a level that stands out as, oh, that looks bearish. It's going to keep going lower. And then, either people sell and get out or they buy puts or they buy short it, whatever. And then it goes up. And so, here retested that neckline, which I drew based on that point. So, take that with a grain of salt, but bounce. And then here, consolidation, break in lower. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this looks like it's at a very, very pivotal point. And considering that this line has only been tested, once over here, twice over here. So, this is like how you draw the line. You need to have two pivot points to draw it. I guess it was tested over here. So that's the third time. That was in 2023, January 2023, the first week of the year. And then, this is the fourth time effectively that it's been tested on the weekly. And so I could see a bounce, but it may be short-lived. And really, like, my sentiment with semiconductors right now is, didn't the CEO of AMD just get Time Magazine and CEO of the Year? That, to me, while it might be really exciting, that's kind of a topping signal that a CEO of a chip company is making the Time CEO of the Year. That strikes me as being a topping signal. I think that we could be getting a bounce. I think generally semiconductors, I think NVIDIA, I think that we'll be seeing a bounce just because like I'm too quick to short things, or, I try to pinpoint that's the top, that's the bottom, but we really need to see confirmation of the break. And so here, I think that this looks more bearish than bullish. I think that those calls and that one put will shed a lot of light on where the direction is going. $70 million, I definitely don't have that much. I don't even have $1 million, So I think that will be really telling the direction of this. Maybe check, see what Nancy Pelosi's doing. That might shed some light on this. But I don't think that the top is in necessarily. Well, I think that the top is in, but I don't necessarily think that we are done rallying. So if I just draw a trend line here from the highest close going up to here, I could see us getting a bounce. Let's see, to right around 160, 162 maybe. But I think that would be, getting rejected from this downtrend again. And I think that this will fade. But, maybe just like we're testing these trend lines multiple times, maybe we test this one again and then we break out and then maybe go into like 190. But overall, I would look for next week closing above 130. If that doesn't happen, I think this could be going down to $93 a share. $93 a share. This is log. So maybe 93. I should say that with a grain of salt, a note. The chart here is on the log scale, but the Fibonacci retracement is linear. I am not able to adjust that to log in Webull. I could do that in TradingView. So maybe I want to do that real quick at the end of this because it is a long video, but just throw in that up there. 69 is that 100% retracement on the linear scale. So, that is where I get that. But yeah, let's see. I'm just going to flip over to Bitcoin, by the way. I think just hit an all-time high. But we're not here for Bitcoin. So I am going to switch over to AMD, which I have not charted. So this is going to be all fresh. So I'm just going to go look at that. And if I look at this on the weekly, adjust this to the log scale, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about doing, let's see, this retracement from the top there to the bottom and up to see what the log 100% retracement is. So just trying to think about this right. Okay, so just going to zoom in for us a little bit. So I'm going to get that Fibonacci extension tool, draw that from over here down to here, being approximate, and then going up to the top there, this 100%, wow. Well, no, I'm an idiot. 100%, 60, 100%, $69. So if I were to put my money on it, and considering the theme of this channel is degenerative education and liking numbers like 69 and 420, I'm going to say that I feel like AMD is more likely to go to $69 a share than to retest this trend line coming up to, what did I say, around 160. I think it's more likely to go to 69. And so that's kind of what I'm leaning on. But I think the most important thing will be to consider these option contracts. Again, for a final note, AMD, $110 call expiring in February. We want to see that open interest went up from about $4.4 thousand on Friday. So we'll see that in the morning. And then also the $100 call expiring in February. Open interest should be going up from about 11.6 thousand. And the $110 put expiring in February should be going up open interest from 10.9 thousand if this is to be bearish. But considering this call, the $110 call expiring in February, had a total premium of $70 million traded on it, that makes me think whether this one went up or down from Friday, the open interest, if it went up from 4.4 thousand, I feel like 160 is a more likely target. If it went down from 4.4 thousand, I think that it's going to $69 a share. But, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, you guys.